All right, we are live. Welcome to another Dev Chat. How's it going today, Chuck?
Good. How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing all right. I've been out for a couple weeks. This is my
Oh, yeah.
second day back after a 2-week holiday span, so I am getting back into it. How are
Happy
you
New
doing?
Year.
Happy New Year, indeed.
Yeah, I'm
How
about
was
the
your?
same. I've got my chai latte, so this is keeping me going right now.
This is herbal tea. I've had enough caffeine. I had caffeine all through the morning, so
Is there any such thing as enough caffeine?
for me, yeah.
Fair enough.
I like to go to sleep at like 10 p.m. If I were to have some coffee right now, it'd be closer to 12:30 or 1, I think.
Hmm.
Oh, so
So where do we leave things?
I was gonna say we've been not streaming for 2 weeks. This
Yeah.
is the longest we've been without streaming in like 2 months. So that's kind of nice. We've gotten a nice little cadence going. We left off working on the Algolia December coding challenge. We
Hmm.
did 2 streams, right?
Yeah, that's right. We did 2 streams, and then since then, the challenging part of the challenge has ended, or at least the contest part of the challenge has ended.
Yes. But that doesn't mean that you can't do it for fun, I
That's
guess.
true. That's true.
Or that we can't use it as fodder for excellent content and educational purposes going forward, which I think we're going to do today. But one of the things that we did do last time was try to give Santa a very good UI,
Hmm.
and I failed. I failed pretty hard at that. And I had to go offline. I had to go talk to our front end experiences team and be like, where am I making the mistake? And as it turns out, the mistake was I didn't read. That we actually call these things out in the README for what we do. But I kind of want some redemption. So I figured we'd take like 5 minutes and let me redeem myself a little bit here at the beginning. Is that okay with you, Chuck?
No, I think that's great. I mean, I feel like anything that we get tripped up on, it's potential that you all might get tripped up on too. So let's go ahead and sort things out before we move forward.
Totally. So I'm going to share screen. So what we were doing last time, we did challenge. What number was that? That was the
The last was it the
last
last
one.
one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
challenge 5 bonus question is what we
Hmm.
worked on. Is that right?
Yep. About Coldplay.
Yeah. The concerts in Coldplay. Yeah. So we utilize the concert data set. We have a set of data sets inside of the Algolia organization /Algolia/data sets in GitHub. And inside of that, there's how many? There are quite a few. I don't know, 10 cool data sets that you
Hmm.
can use to kind of test the waters with Algolia and have a nice set of like production-ish data around stuff. And all the December coding challenge exercises were based on these data sets, various data sets inside of it. That last one being around the concerts data set. This is a big data set. So we didn't actually import this into our like sample indices, our sample app.
Right.
We went in and used these credentials here. And I still had this set up. I still have the concert stuff set up. And you can see it's all the concerts, and we could do a search for Coldplay and get all the Coldplay concerts. I've got some interesting date things happening here. I don't know. I was
Hmm.
playing with this, but that's neither here nor there. I think, let's actually look at that real fast. That's in our hit template. So let's see, our hit component.
Does this have something to do with
It's the
the epic
human
seconds
date.
versus milliseconds? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we can do that. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That's better. I was doing some experimentation with that, like one versus the other, and what's the best way to do it in terms of this data set. But yeah, we can look at Coldplay again, and we can see there's a whole bunch. And the whole point of the exercise was to find the last Coldplay concert, I believe,
Yeah.
of 2018.
20.
What
Yeah.
city? So the way we ended up succeeding at the challenge, which was fine, was we came in and we were able to look at Coldplay and then see all these dates, and we could figure that out. I think we also did some conversions of these epoch times and did the this date range picker over here. But we wanted to make a better UI for Santa because Santa was supposed to be using this. So we went and we found inside of the Algolia code exchange, which if you go to algolia.com, you can head on over to the developer section and go to the code exchange. Has a lot of great widgets. As it turns out, we don't bundle with Instant Search, with React Instant Search, a date range selector, but you can install one. So let's do a search on that. You can see there's this UI component. It's built by a couple of our excellent engineers, and it's for React, and it's pretty much ready to go. There's a GitHub repository, which I'm already in, but you can come over here and you can see there's a whole bunch of stuff. You install it with npm or with yarn, and then it does say in some print here that this widget uses this package under the hood. So you'll want to make sure to initialize it, install it, and initialize it. And there's even an entire section on how to use it with React as well, which is here. In the date, it's actually inside of the dependencies documentation, right? So date picker usage with React. What we actually need to do is bring this in. So our code, let's actually bring this back to where we were. Our code originally had import date range picker, which is from our package, right? At Algolia React Instant Search widget date range picker. Super great name. Super explicit as to what it is, a little long to type. So we import that in, and I was like, okay, this will be super easy, which is always like the death knell to any live coding. Super easy. Date range picker, and we give it the attribute of date, which you can see that range input, which is how we're doing the less cool version of this, uses that same attribute. So we bring it in, and you can actually see, I didn't make any changes just then because we already have it in here. You just can't see it.
Yeah.
And that's because we're not initializing it properly. So if we come into this panel, you can actually see we have the date range picker here. It's just a blank bad div, really. It's a React component that's not actually getting anything because React doesn't know what to do with it. So we do need to initialize the Duet date picker. And the instructions for that are in the Duet date picker right here. And basically all we have to do is import it in. We have to install it, import it, and then we can define custom element with the window. So we come back up to the top at the end of all of our import statements. We add some more code up here. Again, this is just copy and paste. Import define custom elements from their loader, and then we use that method and we tell it to define it on the window object of the browser. There's some other things you can do that the package talks about. You can actually do a thin React wrapper around this. You don't have to, though. It's best probably to go through this entire process, but for a quick win, we can save this in, come back over, and you can see that we now have a date picker up there. Not the greatest UI because it is a pretty small area over here, but we can click in and we can define right 20 search, we'll go to 2018, and we can just maybe say we want this from January 2018. I can't see, I'm not even reading this properly. January 1st, 2018 through December of 2018, right? So we'll go look at all those, and then we'll say cold play, and now we only have two. One was in January, one was in November, and we're good to go. We've given Santa a little bit of an easier way of doing this, which I think Santa will appreciate in the long run.
Oh yeah, who wants to type in epic seconds or epic milliseconds?
Not JavaScript, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
JavaScript doesn't want to do that. JavaScript wants epic milliseconds, which is always a fun time. So yeah, we got hung up on that. We worked on it for like 15 minutes. I thought I was breaking React in various ways. As it turns out, we were missing a dependency, and I didn't read the full installation instructions on our repository. So you can find this in the Algolia Code Exchange. I'll put a link to that in chat. A lot of great packages in here that you can kind of check out. You can also contribute, which is always great. So you can actually enrich the Code Exchange. You can either request something like, hey, it'd be really cool if there was a view something or other. You can request that, or you can actually contribute your code here. Oh no, don't want to do that. Anyway, I've got GitHub logged in another browser window. But basically, there's an issue template that you can submit to and find your way over there. And you can submit your code blocks to it, which is really a cool idea.
Yeah.
And I recommend everyone who has done something unique in Algolia, they should totally do that.
Yeah. So, I mean, like that was a date picker, But if you've got like a super cool date picker that like super clean, integrates nicely, we're open to it, But yeah,
And in
so
fairness, right,
cool.
this is an open source package. If you want, cut your teeth on some open source stuff, you can come in here and probably make some pull requests against it as well. If you want to see additional features or come and request features directly on this, you can leave issue requests and stuff like that. So
we love that. We love that.
Yeah. So
Awesome,
I
man.
feel redeemed.
Yeah. Yeah. We were so close. We were so close. We had the div up there. It was just not initializing properly. So good to
As
know.
it turns out, reading is hard sometimes.
Readmes are challenging.
Yeah.
Especially if you just see those like 3 lines of like, oh, here's a yarn install, here's this, here's that. Cool, I think I'm good to go.
I'm done.
Maybe forget to read down the rest of it.
Yeah, totally. I copied from here, installed it, and just scrolled down to the usage and copied all this. Super great.
Yeah. So hey, so shout out. I'm probably going to slaughter this, but Ruben Quintero. I'm going to try. So shout out to Ruben Quintero, who actually won the contest portion of our coding challenge. So Ruben got all the answers right, and won our random drawing for the iPhone. So congratulations. Ruben has all of their answers up in a GitHub repo that we actually linked to in another blog post that we did with all the solutions. So if you go look at the Algolia blog, you can actually see there's a post I put up right before the holidays that walks you through sort of the solutions to all the different primary challenges, but not necessarily the bonus questions.
Yes, indeed. If I recall correctly, Chuck, there was actually like the slightest bit of hubbub around one of the bonus questions, right? In the Discord that we had set up for the contest.
Right, that's right. So we, for folks that were competing in the contest, there was access to a Discord server, and there was a conversation about the answer to the bonus question for Challenge 1, which uses the TED Talk data set. And so I don't get into the answer here. We can actually maybe bring up the question side of it too. But the gist of it is, what is the most viewed TED Talk tagged with 2 different things, collaboration and society? Right. So this is actually doing some filtering using multiple facets, or multiple values for a facet, I should say. And it kind of gets into the weeds of building out queries and filtering for Algolia, which totally get why some folks were sort of like, oh, that was a bit more challenging. And kind of lends itself to maybe another topic for a live coding session. Maybe we can trip over some of those same landmines and help others not have to.
So I have not actually completed these challenges, and I feel like I'm a pretty good guinea pig then for stumbling, because as we found out 2 weeks ago, I stumble. So what say we try to figure this out?
Let's do it.
And the nice thing is, I know, Chuck, that you know the answer. So when I stumble, you'll be here to catch me, right?
I will. I'm right there for you, Brian.
All right. So I'm going to check, and I'm hoping we have this as a latency thing. Let's see if we've got. Ooh, we do. So we have credentials for this. Do I need the credentials for this solution? Or do I need my own?
I don't think so. I think that we've got the faceting that we need to do it. So I think you should be okay to use that one.
So I currently have, I set this up, and you can go back and you can watch the last couple live streams. We set this up as a create instant search app, which is an npm package that you run. You can run npx create-instant search-app, and that will give you a whole bunch of boilerplate code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to alter what we have for the concert right now, and I'm going to actually use the TED Talk data to get us there. There might be a few things we'll have to change out, but we should just be able to come in. We'll keep latency as our app, I think. Let's see, data sets. Yeah, no, actually, the app ID for this one is different. So we're going to insert a new app ID into the Algolia search method. And then we need a search-only API key, which is provided there. And then we've got 3 indices. We've got talks, playlists, and speakers. And let's see what we need. So the challenge was the most viewed TED Talk tagged. So we want talks.
Yep.
So let's grab that. We don't want speakers, we want talks. And so we'll go into, we have an instant search React component. It's initialized with the search client that we just updated the information for. And then it has this index name, which is currently concerts, events, instant search.js. And we're going to change that to the talks data set from the TED Talks. And we'll save that in. We'll see if things break. But look, we already have what we need. Well, at least part of what we need here. We have all the talks. They have dates, and the dates are wrong right now, but I don't think that's going to matter. We're going to probably remove that. And we don't need these facets anymore. So let's go ahead and do a quick bit of cleanup. Let's get rid of those date pickers and my commented out code here. And let's go into our hit. And let's get rid of the date stuff that we have here. We don't need the human date anymore. And we don't need a location. What other pieces of data do we have? I guess would be a good thing to look at. We need how many views they have. So we can probably put that on so we can confirm that we're right. And their tags, it looks like. So
now this is the one interesting thing here too, is remembering that we're going to want the most viewed, I believe it was, right? I'm not looking at it right now.
Yes.
But so that means sort order for result set, and that means index configuration. So I'm going to do a quick sneak peek behind the scenes here to see what we're sorting on right now. But that might be the one thing that might trip us up a bit as we try and do this using the shared version of the data set as opposed to hosting our own.
Now I'm wondering if this index has these replicas as well. Again, I don't know behind the scenes right now. I haven't done the research, but I'm kind of, because there is this talks viewed count descending, which is the sort order that we would want for this. I don't think we have that in this data set, but I'm happy to be wrong about that.
You might want to try that. Yeah, I wonder if these are just different indices, and we just need to reference that particular index. So I'm going to go and take a look at this account and see. But I'm starting to remember that might be what happened. That there's just multiple. So because you need to do things like sort order on the configuration of the index itself, sort different ways is to have multiple replicas of your data. So multiple replica indices with different configurations around sort order and ranking and things like that. And I believe that might be what we did here. So let me take a peek inside. I just need to.
And that'd be what you want to do in your applications too, like to make them super quick, super snappy, so that you're not doing any sort of compute around that sorting. You're going to just have that basically be something else that you can fetch in one quick call and get that sort back very, very quickly. But I'm just going to take a look at this structure since we have the JSON in GitHub. We've got a name, a description. We've got an array of speakers, slug, date. We do have a date, duration, which I don't even, it's a 2. That's fun. Tags, and this is all pulled from like the TED Talk stuff. So like that's how they code that. An array of tags, which are just strings. We've got the view count, which is something that we'll want. Let's go ahead and grab that. So let us put a new item here. And we will have it. We're not going to highlight it. We'll do, this is going to be props.hit.viewed count. And yeah, sure. Thanks, GitHub Copilot. We'll say views. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, we've got a whole bunch of non-used variables up top, but that's fine. Those are just warnings. And look, we got the number of views. So we're not sorting on that, but at least we can see the total views for each of these. How goes the behind the scene check on that?
I'm jumping into the account now. So I'm going to take a look and see what indices are available here. I probably need about another minute.
Okay, no worries. So the other thing we can do is we can grab maybe all the tags. So let's see what this gets me. I might need to map through this. Let's map through it real fast. So we'll create an unordered list, and then we'll do. Oh, look. Okay, did GitHub Copilot hear me? I think it might have. Prop.hits.tag.map, and then we're going to do a component of that. Each one's going to be an LI. Set up a key on that. Sure. Yeah, I'll highlight that. I don't think that's going to work, but I'll be curious to see. And then we'll finish up the LI and finish up the component here. And let's see what this gives us. Let's see. Yeah, the highlight, of course, doesn't work there. I didn't think that was going to work. You can actually do this and you can map over it. It's a lot of code that is probably not worthwhile for this stream, but maybe something for a future stream. And there we have all the strings in a list, in an unordered list of what we've got here. And you can set up highlights to work on this. It's just like probably about an additional 6 lines of code inside of that to make it work. So yeah, so we could, what's the challenge again? Let's see. We need to find the most viewed TED Talk with those tags. So we need to set up faceting around the tags so that I can do a search on both of these. So we need a refinement list, which this will actually fix this error down here because it really wants us to have a refinement list, I think. So in our sidebar, we don't want to be in our hit anymore. We want to be up here. Inside of the search panel filters, let's create a new refinement list. We want to give it an attribute, not of city, but of tags, I believe. And let's see what this gives us. So now we have all of those tags. And herein is going to lie the issue for what people were bringing up in the Discord. So we want the most viewed tagged for collaboration and society. And by default, and Chuck, you can correct me if I'm wrong, by default, it's going to be an or association here as opposed to an and association. So we'll do, I've already forgotten what they were. Collaboration and society.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing collaboration or society. That means that we probably need a bigger minimum size on what we bring in here, which I believe I can do in the configuration. So let's pull that up.
Yeah, there are a whole mess of text here.
Yep. All right. We've got facet ordering, default refinement, limit. Limit's going to be what we want. Let's see. So we'll pass that in as a number. Limit equals, we'll just go ahead and say like 40. And there they are. There's collaboration. And I cannot hold this society. Collaboration and society. I can't keep it in my head. Society. There we go. So as you can see, like there's not a whole lot changing between the numbers, right? And that's because it's now looking for if it has either of those tags attached to it. So we need to figure out how we can make this an and relationship for this refinement list as opposed to an or relationship inside of our refinement list. Correct?
That's right.
So let's see what all we have here. Transform items, searchable, show more limit. Oh, we could have just done show more. Limit operator. Now, I feel like it's the operator. Yeah. Easy peasy, I think. So on the refinement list, we can actually change it from or, which is the default. As you can see, it's a string of or and. It defaults to or, and we want to change it. So operator will change over to and. Operator equals and. Save that in. And we'll have to do that again, which was society and collaboration. Collaboration. And you can see the results in the refinement list here are drastically different than they were before. They were in the hundreds before for each of these, but now they're in like the dozens. And so we can come in and society. I think Chuck just really wanted me to like emphasize my sibilants on my S's here, and society. So now we have these, and now we need to sort by the number of views as opposed to, I actually don't know what the default sort order is on this. So do we find out if we have a replica?
Yeah, I'm finally in the account, and there's definitely multiple Yeah, no, I finally in the account, and there's definitely multiple replicas, but my machine is crawling, Brian. I probably
I
should
was
have rebooted in the new year.
I let me log in and see. I think I've got.
But
Oh no, this is a
so
different.
I
This
can
is a
see
different repository.
there is a talks inspiring rating desk.
Okay,
Let me see if there's
let's see if that
a
matches up.
view here. Here we go. How about talks viewed count desk? Descending.
Ha.
Talks view count
Yep.
descending. So let
Oh,
me
the full
uh
word descending.
no, it's DESC desk.
Okay. Yes, desk.
So I can
So if it matches up to what we have in GitHub, which it sounds like it does, because we have these settings here, these settings files,
mhm.
which actually, if we take a look and see how that's being done, you can see that we've got some attributes to index. Let's see, attributes for faceting. Let's see, order.
So
So it's
this is a
unordered
really
by name. Yeah, good.
this is a really cool thing that I want to kind of explore further. So our API allows you to, as you can see here, dump all of the configuration for any index in JSON format. So this is literally we have multiple replicas of this talks index sorted by different values, ranked by different values. And we've taken each of those configurations and dumped them out into the repo, which means you can
Mhm.
source control this configuration, which is super, super interesting and cool for places where you want to sort of lock or track change. Um, it's interesting because one of the real values of using Algolia for search is the ability to collaborate between the business side and the development side of the house. You can have folks log in, business folks log in to the dashboard, make changes to ranking, and for business reasons, right? You're running a sale, you want to sort of promote certain things, whatever reason. But there might be other situations where you need to be able to understand what changes were made and track those, a little more systemically, like you would other configuration. And this is what allows you to do that, the ability to check the stuff into a repo. Tangent, but it's kind of important. It's something I really want to kind of pursue further in this year.
Yeah, it's a definite strong tangent. You
Hmm.
can see we have that custom ranking down here, and it is descending by viewed count. So this is how that is happening behind the scenes. You could do this inside of the dashboard as well. We don't have access to that because it is the shared one. But if you had installed this, go back like 4 weeks, 4 episodes ago, and you can see how we wrote a script to actually import these into our own. But if you don't have access to that, you can just figure it out from here.
Hmm.
So it should be talks viewed count descending, DESC, right?
Right. And so because it's a replica, we just simply change the index name to whichever one has the configuration we need.
Yep. So we should now. Whoa, that's a lot. So yes, it does appear to be descending based on viewed count,
Hmm.
and because behind the scenes we've got a server that's like reloading when we make code changes. I have to select these again. Let's see. It was collaboration and
This
society.
this would be a great place for adding the search box widget to the
It would
faceting.
be. It would be 100%. Or just going into the dashboard. I love that little builder in the dashboard. It makes life so
Hmm.
easy. Um, so let's see. The answer was how to spot a liar. Right now,
Why you think you're right, even if you're wrong,
hmm,
which is kind of funny.
that's
Hmm.
kind of where I'm at right now. All right. So the question is, what's the most viewed TED Talk tagged for both collaboration and society?
Mhm.
Um,
So
collaboration.
I was in CPU jail while you were doing the building out the query. Do you mind if I take a peek at it?
So I didn't actually build out the query, to be honest.
Oh.
What I did was I went to our refinement list and I
Mhm.
changed the operator of the refinement list from or to end.
I wonder if that needs to be caps. I wonder if.
It did change things when I made that change.
Oh, okay.
So we'll do that again. Collaboration. And this time it is different.
Again, there it is.
Huh. Interesting.
So
I want
we describe this as SQL-like syntax, and I wonder if maybe the all capitals on the operator is important.
let's see. So collaboration and society. The interesting thing is we have fewer when I use lowercase. So why don't you walk me through the other way of doing this?
So the other way to do this is to actually build out a filter query. So if you go, let me actually grab it out of the
I'm hoping maybe I can
documentation.
toss this in my configure element here, my configure component.
So if we check out filtering within the documentation, there's actually a whole page here that takes you through the process of building out complex queries as well as part of your Algolia query. I did put the link in the.
Oh, you did. Excellent.
Yeah.
The fun thing is I actually can't grab it from there. API reference. All right, we'll type it because if I click on that, it'll just display it to everybody. Doc API reference. See all the different API methods I have to look up. API parameters, filters. Okay.
So you can see basically what you do is you can create, you can actually do complex queries against facets, against all sorts of different pieces of this, joined together with ANDs, ORs, and NOTs. And the interesting thing about this, there's some good examples if you click down on the C code examples. So you can see here, like this is filtering on a facet value. So a facet of category with a value of book or facet. So that's kind of giving you what you need there. The really interesting thing is if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, super hidden, there's a syntax validator. So you can actually build out your query down there, make sure that it's accurate, and then go ahead and paste it in for your actual query within your API call.
Interesting.
So it looks like it needs the capital and.
So let's do this real fast. I believe, Algolia configure React. We have this configure component in React, which I believe we can utilize for this.
Cool.
So I need allows you to pass search parameters, which is what we're doing. All right. So configure takes an object, a spread object of search parameters. Okay, so filters is what we're doing, right? Filters is the search parameter.
Yep.
So let's grab this real fast and we will modify. So inside of our configure component, which allows us to basically what you would do in that method, in that setup method, you can do in here. And let's take a look at the filters API. And so what we want to be doing basically is we're going to use tags instead of category, right?
Right. That's right.
And we're going to say those two tags with an end relationship.
Right. So we can hard code them here if we want to actually build like a static query for this. Now, obviously,
so tags, and then does that take that colon? Yeah, colon, and that's going to be society, which I think is lowercase, society, and collaboration.
I think you got to put the tags on there again. Yeah. So key value pairs with colons.
Yeah. So tag society and tags collaboration. And let's see what we get.
So this shouldn't even require the widget on the side. This should be pre-baked into the result set that we get back.
This, however, is the answer that I got from the refinement list as well.
Interesting.
I wonder if there's something with the replica. Because now when we look, I can't even find liar. Liar's not even a piece of data within those two filters together.
Oh, that's
but
interesting.
it is here. Applier.
Look at that. Well, now I'm wondering what's going on. Let's see.
I'm also very curious about the nerdcore comedy.
I know. I'm dying to go see that TED Talk now. It's amazing. Makes me want to go listen to MC Front a lot.
Exactly.
Wow. Huh. Okay. So interesting. So so with the OR operator in that filter.
Yep. So the interesting thing is that we confirmed, right, that doing it this way works the same way as doing it this way, but this wants the lowercase to make it have parity with this. So why you think you're right, even if you're wrong. And then if we get rid of this entire filter and then chain and have this be the end, and we do collaboration and society. Why you think you're wrong, even if you're right. My favorite part about not preparing for like the code portion of these streams and just like being able to do it off the cuff is these like very puzzling moments.
So I might have been wrong. So and if you flip that and do the liar one, does that have collaboration in society? Let's look at the actual.
Let's see. Let's undo that. Oh, that won't actually display the liar one. We'll do an or relationship. It has culture, psychology, science, and society.
It does not have collaboration.
It does not have collaboration.
So I am, in fact, the liar.
Well, okay. Well, hold on. Let's. I don't like that you might be. So let's real fast.
I think that's accurate though. If it doesn't have collaboration, it doesn't have collaboration. I think I missed out on the.
Yeah, well, I'm wondering.
I think I got the Boolean logic backwards.
Or
I got tripped up in this whole uppercase lowercase thing.
I'm curious though. I just switched out our index. Our index is now just talks, and so I just want to confirm. All right, so in the base index,
yeah,
it does not have collaboration on it.
Interesting. Oh, I might have to go update the blog post. Yes, because this is not accurate. So the way to get the correct answer. Let's see.
You grab the viewed count descending, which we could also potentially do inside configure, right? But yeah, we do it with the index to make it a little bit faster.
But the answer is consistent. Between those two, the answer is consistent once we have the right thing in there.
Do filters, tag society, and tags collaboration. And we get why you think you're right, even if you're wrong. And then let's get rid of that and have the operator and. And we do collaboration and society.
Yeah.
And when we change that to the or if we were to do caps here, right?
Yeah.
Which doesn't work from what I'm seeing. It's all lowercase in the React component. We do that again. Collaboration and society. You can see the numbers don't change.
Right.
And we get how to spell a liar that way.
I think that's probably the mistake I made. I think I got the capitalization wrong when I was building out my query filter.
Yeah.
So my apologies to those on this the stream that put in the right when you're wrong answer. That is the right answer, and I was the one who was wrong.
I mean, the nice thing is it was a bonus question, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't think I think all the folks that that completed the main questions. I don't think this would impact that, but this is important to know. So, and here's another interesting sort of little catch within the world. So we have case sensitive operators, but that case sensitivity is different depending on how you are building out your query.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna ask about this. I'm very curious to see because I'm sure there's a reason for the case sensitivity to be in the way that it is. And I'm
Mhm.
always curious to find out like the brains behind a lot of this. There's always a really interesting explanation, which I never would have thought of.
Right.
But yeah, when you're using it as a filter inside of your search parameters, so whether you're using this in your query in the actual like API call with the
Mhm.
query, or via a refinement list and changing it from operator to from or to end, they are different. And you want all caps when you're building it in configure, and you want all lowercase when you're building it in your refinement list, or at least in the refinement list for React. It'd be actually very curious. Let's check that real fast.
I am absolutely positive that's what tripped me up, because
Oh
I
yeah.
even was saying to you, like, "Oh, that's gotta be all caps." So
Yep. Yeah, and in the plain JavaScript implementation of Instant Search for the refinement list widget, you get all lowercase as well.
mm,
So in building the UI, this is what you're going to do. In building an API call to do these, you're going to use the SQL-like
mhm.
um, syntax. Although and or you could just say that's SQL-like in general. But yes, all lowercase in JavaScript, all uppercase in your API calls.
Cool to know. Cool to
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Front end meets
Nice.
back
So
end.
we've got exactly. We've got like 15 minutes for our allotment here. Do we want to look at anything else? Are there any other interesting tidbits from the coding contest? Hey, Sylvia,
Hey,
glad to
Sylvia.
have you here.
Yeah.
If you have any questions for us, do let us know.
Yeah, we've got
As
about
we do
15
have about
minutes.
15 minutes left.
I could mention, I was hanging out with the recommend team, and they
Oh
were showing me some
yeah.
cool things about, sort of the ease of setting up some of the machine learning, models that they have on their side. So I got to do kind of a fun video where I
Totally.
just kind of quickly went through, not really live coded because it's pre-recorded, but I just kind of went through and added a couple of different, recommendation models, to an e-commerce site around, frequently bought together and, similar item, and then kind of built a carousel and showed some different mechanisms for, doing fallback strategies, for doing additional filtering on the results. And Brian's just thankfully posted that, into the chat, so you can check that out in that video.
I kind of want to just let's see.
That's kind of a
Well,
fun
no.
thing that happened.
Let me see if I can share my screen with a little bit of audio. I don't think I can do that, and that's sad. Oh well. Um, That's fine. But yeah, you can go there. It's on our YouTube channel. It's the latest video on the YouTube channel, how to add recommendations to an e-commerce site by Chuck. It is available as of late yesterday, I believe. So
Mhm.
if you're watching on YouTube right now, go check it out. It might also be recommended to you by YouTube later on, since you watched us today. So there is that, and it's a really interesting video. And the recommend product is super interesting as well,
Mhm.
especially around e-commerce. And we have some new stuff coming later this year around that. It's going to be super interesting for other use cases as well, I believe.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. It is a standalone product. You can use it without search, but it's definitely sort of a peanut butter to search's jelly. If you're using Algolia Search and you're already collecting event information from users interacting with your search, that's exactly what you feed the machine learning models for recommend. So they pair together really well. Or you can use recommend on its own and sort of feed it your own events external to search. But yeah, go check that out. Trying to think out if there's anything else super cool I've been looking at,
Yeah.
this week.
I mean, granted, like not a whole lot's moved on the product with holidays. Like it just
Mhm.
that's how holidays work in a lot of ways. But I know we've got a few things that'll be coming out in the next couple of weeks in terms of content. I'm gonna be writing up a blog post on the date range that we showed off earlier. Chuck, you're working on some Geo Search stuff, I do believe.
Yeah, yeah, some multi-layered for if you want to use like geolocation data and like state data or sort of layer in multiple results. I'll be building that out.
Yep. So yeah, I hope everyone has had a good start to the new year. January 4th, not very far into it. 2022. It's good stuff.
Right on. Well, we'll save some of this for next week, I guess, Brian.
Yeah,
And
sounds good to
in the
me.
meantime, look for some of these blog posts coming out. Come reach out to us over on Twitter. Say hey.
Yeah, you
Um,
can see Chuck and I have our. Oh no, you changed, didn't you?
I did. You
So did
did
I.
too.
Yeah,
Dang it.
we're trying to match up, right? So like you can find me at brob on Twitter, Chuck at Chuck M, but also just hit up the Algolia account as well. We're both keeping an eye on that for questions and comments and that sort of good thing.
Yep. And we haven't quite shut down that Discord server from the contest yet.
Mm,
I'm actually gonna have to go over there and do some mea culpas after we get off this live stream. But if Discord's more your cup of tea and you want to come hang out with us, I don't know how long we'll keep the server up, but it's up for now. And
yeah,
glad to add you. So reach out to us.
yeah, yep. Hit us up on Twitter for that. We'll get you access to the secret Discord. Don't tell anyone. All right. Well, thanks for hanging out, Chuck. Thanks for hanging out, everyone in chat. We'll see you next week. And in the meantime, let us know if you have questions.
Yep. See you later, Brian.
See ya.
See you, everyone.